going to be something very unique because I'm sharing the stage with my really great friend and real estate broker extraordinaire, team lead extraordinaire, as well as the adjunct professor for Mount San Antonio College, which is going to be Joseph Limo. So I'll bring him up here in just a second, but I'll set the stage for what we're going to do. And then I have some questions for you, which I think will be tremendously helpful for you as well, Joe. So when Joe talks, he's going to get everybody primed and get you in the right frame of mind. And then I'm going to come up and share some marketing tactics and strategies that you can employ. And right now, I'm traveling across the country because I just launched this book on the 1st of January. Check this out, guys. My office is in Rancho. I live in Ontario. My office has been in Rancho for 20 years. I lived in Rancho for 15 years. So this is home to us. Rancho's just as much as home as the city of Ontario is. But we launched this book January 1st, and this right now is amongst one of the hottest selling books in the entire real estate industry nationwide, which is very exciting for us. And it's really cool because the concept is this. I invited 21 of the most amazing real estate professionals that I personally know and have relationships with. Now, for me, this wasn't about who has the most numbers on the board, because that didn't matter to me. It was more so about multiple things. A balance of life. Who's living that life that a lot of professionals aspire to want to live? Who has a really great brand and they've been very strategic in building it? Or who is just masterful at going from being a top producing real estate agent to building one of the biggest teams in the world for real estate? And so that's exactly what this whole squad is made up of. I am excited to share with you also that a lot of these people are from Southern California. I mean, it just makes sense. I think we are amongst one of the most competitive real estate markets in the country. And when I see what we do as real estate agents in SoCal, specifically the IE, I could travel on out because I will be doing this. In March, I'll be speaking in an event where real estate agents from all across the United States will fly on in. Just to be invited, you have to have 50 closed transactions previous calendar year just to get an invite. So these are not schleps. These are people who are out there crushing. And when these agents come on out, I'm learning about their tactics, their marketing skills. And then when they see what we're doing in California, many of these top producers will say, like, I can't believe what you guys do in Southern California. And I say, here's the good news. For me, it's not everybody. But if you are somebody who does it, it can make a significant difference in your business. But just to name a couple people, I have Christian Fuentes. He's extremely well known with RE/MAX top producers. He shared a great deal. Marty Rodriguez. Anybody know Marty Rodriguez? If you're in real estate and if you don't know Marty, you have problems. She is the most successful real estate practitioner in the history of Century 21, 47 years in the business. And then Christoph Chu's been featured in the New York Times, the LA Times, as well as the Wall Street Journal. And he was gracious enough to write the foreword of my book. And we have many, many more. But the very first person that I called when I was putting this project together was Joseph Limo. So I called him first. I said, Joe, I have this idea. In fact, Joe, I think I told you about it when we were playing golf. That's the first time I ever told you about the concept. And so I called Joe and I said, this would not be complete, not only if I didn't ask him to be a part of it, but to be the very first person out of all these people that I'm connected with nationwide. Now, just like Joe and I, we are connected and we have some really great contacts. If you would like to pull out your phone right now, you can scan this QR code and I'll tell you what you're going to get. When I'm done, I'm going to get right into it, but you're going to get a download, and it's going to be 7 tactics that you can employ right away in order to kickstart your business. Everything I share is all money-making activities. And then I have a partnership in place with a company called iConnect. iConnect has raised millions of dollars, and they have like the who's who of their board. And I'm talking about people that were part of Netscape a long time ago, but that person has transitioned to also be one of the founding members for WebMD. You have people from Move Inc. Move Inc. is the company that purchased Realtor.com for, what was it, $300 million. So you have some players that are a part of this. And then what they're doing is they're sponsoring me to speak at events all across the United States. They've developed an app with some Uber-style technology so that way you as agents can be more closely connected to your consumers. So just like, you know, if you're a UFC fighter and you have a sponsor, I have a sponsor. Joe's the one that introduced them to me, and we work very closely with them. But you get my 7 strategies, and at the same time, it's a way for me to bring value to my sponsors. Right before I bring Joe up, I do want you guys to know, when Linda and Hector are up here, make sure that you do yourself a favor and connect with them. They are so much more than just an escrow company. When Linda mentions about them being real estate holders, they really are. And they have a vast knowledge of real estate where I have personally picked up the phone, reached out to them and said, hey, here's what I have going on. What do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And in terms of professional service, it is second to none. So I'm very thankful that you guys are so gracious to sponsor so many of our events. And at the same time, sponsorship makes sense if they can also have an opportunity to earn your business. So then my ask of you is this, and Joe, if you're on board with this, we'll hold everybody accountable. If you feel that you learn one tactic from actually from both of us, so now the accountability is on us. You learn one thing from Joe and you learn one thing from me that you could apply to your business to generate more deals, then my ask of you is to give Linda and Hector just 5 minutes of your time. It doesn't have to be today, so that way they can share with you the value that they can bring to your business. Does that sound fair enough? Does that sound fair enough? Yes. Okay. Now, without further ado, I'd like to introduce my good friend, Mr. Joseph Limo.
Thank you. Good morning. That's a lot to, those are big shoes to fill. Okay. Most events that we go to, it's so easy to learn a bunch of strategies, a lot of cool new things. We'll take a bunch of notes. And then this has been true for me in my career. It's also really easy to just throw it in a drawer or like go, wow, that was really fun and awesome. And I feel really motivated. And then we do nothing with it. And so we designed today to really change that from happening here. I really want for when John comes up here and shares with you very practical and very real ways to completely overhaul your business, leveraging AI, video technology, and ways that can really just kind of bridge the gap for you, that you go home and actually implement it. Is that fair? So that's what we're going to dive into. First thing I'm going to do is this. I want to talk about what most of us do here in some form of sales, right? Even with Bank of America, I was with Bank of America for many years before I came to real estate. That's my home. My mom started right out of high school and retired from Bank of America like literally 40 years later. So I love Bank of America very much. Yes, amen. All right, so let's talk about this. This is a really important graphic in my business and in my life. This is our sales funnel, okay? Tweak it a little bit if you're in title, lender, whatever it is that you're doing, but let's kind of walk through this really quick. We all know that the only way to feed our sales funnel is we need to do certain activities. Is that fair? What are some activities that we do collectively? Call someone. What else? Open house, email, door knocking, right? We know what the strategies are, right? Now, when we do these activities, they should allow us to convert into some type of lead, right? So we get some leads by doing certain things. And then those leads can start to turn into appointments that we make, right? Because a lead just doesn't automatically show up in your calendar all the time. You might have to continue to follow up and set an appointment. And then hopefully most, but if not all, of those appointments that we make, we actually go and hold those appointments. We hold those meetings, right? And if we're doing a really great job of converting, then those appointments that we go on turn into clients. And then those clients will hopefully turn into some sort of transaction. And when that transaction's done in the real estate space, it's usually an escrow. But once that's finished, that's when we what? Get paid, right? That's usually when we actually finally see the fruits of our labor, okay? So we're all pretty clear about how this funnel works. What's interesting though is this. We know this has to be done, right? We all know that. If we're a secret agent, if we're just at home, we're not doing anything, or we're just only focused on being an amazing practitioner and no one knows about us, this is not gonna fill itself. And we also know that a lot of us do the same things over and over again. So my question is, why is it then that some of us get dramatically different results than others? So we're going to talk about that. The other reason why this graphic is really important to me in my business is simply this. Do you guys ever feel like you're extremely busy? Like, man, there's just so much work to do, so much fault. Like, we're always so busy. And then do some of us sometimes feel like, man, how busy I'm always like feeling, I may not be as productive as I'd like? I'm finding that the further down this pipeline we go in terms of activities, focuses, things that we have to do, the less productive we're being. Now, is it fair that we have to manage our transactions? We have to talk to our clients, right? You get a home inspection done and they're freaking out about what they've seen and you need to dialogue with them, right? You need to dive deep, have conversations, meet with them, whatever it is. But those are the same types of activities sometimes that if we just let that completely fill our day, our week, our month, we could come out of a month like that and go, wow, so busy, no production. And this is where that roller coaster income can come from. Have any of us ever experienced that? I know I have in my career. So again, this graphic is important to me because it keeps me really focused on what I need to do despite the fact that we're going to be busy. Being busy is a part of our life, right? Managing chaos is where the money's made. But it always reminds me where I need to always make sure my focus is. Is that fair? Cool. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to start to dive in to how some people get tremendously better results than others, despite the fact that we're doing the same calls, we're knocking the same doors, we're holding the same open houses, okay? My ask is this. If you have something to write with, please get a pen and paper out. If you don't, something to type or just text on, because I do want you guys to take notes, okay? So, what I find is that a lot of us, and I do a ton of business planning, okay? I'll show you an entire course that I've built for like a business planning masterclass. But what I find a lot of people miss is in all of the tactic and all the strategy, they're missing their purpose. So what we're gonna do today collectively is we're gonna dig into your purpose behind your goals, all right? So here's what we're gonna do. I'd like you guys to think about what your income goal is, okay? Now, make sure that you're putting your income goal. That's a big mistake a lot of us make, all right? It's not what our broker said we should make. It's not what even my spouse said I should be earning. What is your goal? And it's really important that it's yours because when push comes to shove, it's easy to let someone else's focus go, okay? So I want you guys to think about, get close to, and write down what your income goal is for this year, okay? Is anyone unclear about their goal? Good, because I'm going to rush through this. All right. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to look at that income goal. And I want you to think about why is it important to you to hit that goal? Now, sit with that question for a second. Look at that number, and I want you to, if you can, within no more than 2 sentences, write down why it's important for you to hit your goal this year. That number. What I want you to do is, to the answer you just wrote down, to the left of it, mark it number 1. And then right below it, I want you to write number 2. Now here's what we're going to do. What I want you to do now is not look at your income goal, but I want you to look at the response you gave for number 1, and I want you to read it and ask yourself, now why is that important to me? I want you to sit with that, and within 2 sentences, I want you to find the essence as to why your response matters, and write it down. Of course. Your response, so whatever you wrote down on number 1, I want you to look at that, read it, and I want you to ask yourself, why is that, whatever it is that your response was, why is that important to you? Thank you for clarifying. I want you guys to know that this is a process of really trying to help you guys all get really clear and close to why your goals matter to you. What you put into this is what you'll get out. So try to trust the process right now. And it might get a little uncomfortable. And I'm okay with that. There's power in the struggle. So when you're done, pen down, eyes up, just so I can have an idea of who's ready. What are we going to do next? We're going to write number 3 down below. I love it. I love that. So write down number 3. And now what I want you to do is look at your response on number 2. Sit with it for a moment and ask yourself, why is that important to me? Why does that matter to me? Try to find the essence and write it down within 2 sentences. Is that nervous laughter? Yes. That's why I had them lock the door right now. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of time on this one because I really want you to take the time to look for it. This is an invitation to you. And then when you're done, pen down and eyes up just so I can know who needs more time. So for those who are still going through it, take your time, that's fine. For anyone who's done, I just want to ask you, how did that go? Good? Why? Share. Do share.
Because it made me happy.
Okay, awesome. Did anyone else feel really happy? Awesome. Did anyone else have a different experience with that?
Yeah.
Ready to go? Okay, fired up, like kicking that door down.
I was like, I'm stressed out.
Okay. That's okay too.
That's fear. That's all.
That's okay. Yes. Does anyone else feel a little bit of angst, concern, fear, stress? Because I promise you, if that was your experience as well, you're not alone. That's okay. All right? Now, what I want you guys to do, if you have a paper or if you're typing on something, I want you to put down 4 and 5. We're not going to do that here for the sake of time today. Okay? But I would encourage you guys, when you're done with everything that you have going on today, to come back and revisit this and see if you can dig a little bit deeper. When you look at your income goal from where you are, like as far as a number, down to response number 3, like what are you guys seeing? A lot of hard work, okay. What else? What else are you seeing?
Your passion.
Your passion. Ooh, tell me more about that.
I feel like when you know exactly why you're doing something and what's driving you, then you have that passion to go for it and break through the dead times.
I love it. Yes. What else are we seeing? Anything else?
I'm seeing joy. Because
Joy.
It makes me happy. What the outcome is.
I love it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we're doing here with this exercise. First and foremost, I want you to know you can do this with a bunch of your goals. A lot of times when we're business planning, take the business part out and just plan. Like, what do you want your life to look like? It could be a fitness goal. It could be a relationship goal with your spouse or your children or your parents. It could be financial goals. It could be your business focuses. But you could do this for every single goal and dig deeper. And I really encourage you guys, if you have an opportunity to do that, to please do so. Because you mentioned passions, right? And you found things that were making you joyous. It would be really interesting to see if there are parallels between those goals that start to line up. And that's where things can become dramatically different. So one of the really great consequences of doing this activity is our subconscious minds don't always know like what's real and what's just in our brains, okay? So when you start to crystallize a picture up here, then your subconscious mind is looking to make that reality because it's like, I've got a vision, now we need to make this real. The second part that I think is really key, at least for me, Has anyone ever had a bad day? Has anyone ever had a bad phone call? A transaction fall apart? Have you ever went door knocking, knocked on the first door, and got your behind handed to you and you just wanted to go back and be a recluse on the couch? Has anyone ever had those moments where you felt dejected? Getting clear about this and what your passions are and why it's going to be joy in your life when you hit that goal, this is what makes us pick up the phone again. That's what's going to help you knock on that next door. That's what's going to help you just, feel that shield and go, okay, cool. Like, this is part of the experience that I was ready for. And I would also suggest that when we're business planning, we should plan for those things to happen. Most business plans that we do feel more like this, which is like, it's awesome, it's fun, I've never made calls, but I'm gonna do 100 a day, and that's good. I love that we feel that way. We should energetically feel really great and high when we're business planning. The challenge, though, is that we don't necessarily listen to, hey, what's happened in my past? It's something that knocked me off course. What has happened in the middle of an activity that really just made me feel small or wanting to quit? And how am I going to plan for when that happens next? I don't want it to happen, but do you think the perfect business plan means you'll never have a disappointment this year? Of course not. So let's plan for getting punched in the face. Is that fair? But the real focus is this. When your goals are crystal clear and close to you, I don't think anything can stop you. Can anyone think about a time when they had just like an incredible win in their life? Like you had an aspiration and you went for it and you did it. When you think back with the work that you had to do to get there, did you ever feel like something special was happening there? Tell me about that, Jackie.
For me, it was my fitness journey.
Okay.
Literally has spent decades and I'm still learning about it, but going on 40 years of learning it. And,
So you started when you were an infant.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah, right on. I was in utero.
Hey, there you go. All right.
Yeah. And knew nothing about it and surrounded myself around people that knew about it and understood it and were willing to share their knowledge and actually wanted to see me do good. And that has transcended every facet in my life. Every lesson that I've learned through fitness, I've been able to apply through my career and my personal life. And don't get me wrong, it's not always roses. And there are days you just want to be the recluse on the couch, but at the end of the day, and it was all because of a very cruel statement somebody made to me.
Interesting.
Very cruel. Actually, it was an act. It was beyond a statement. And instead of letting that statement devastate me, because it was really bad and humiliating, I decided I was going to turn it around and empower myself. And as a result, it's empowered every facet of my life almost 40 years later. And so I'm actually grateful for the person that did that.
That's awesome, Jackie. Thank you for sharing too. I appreciate
absolutely.
that. But I think all of us know success is a journey, right? Think about it. When you had an income goal or you had a business aspiration that you wanted to hit, probably by the point when you were planning for it versus when you actually hit it, there was a bigger journey there than you probably recognized in the beginning. Was that true of your fitness journey?
Absolutely. And like I said, it's still a journey. It's not a destination.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So we have to be ready to know that it's a longer haul than we probably can fathom. And guess what? That's okay. Some of us have had big aspirations and we just went after it and we're almost like possessed, doing way more work, harder work, scarier work than we've ever done in our lives. And then we hit the goal and look back and go, how in the heck did I do that? Has anyone ever experienced that before? My gut tells me that your purpose behind it was crystal clear. You knew exactly why, and you were close to it. So that's what I want this exercise to do for all of us. And I like to do one other thing if you guys are willing to engage with me here. I want you to go back to your income goal real quick, okay? Look at it for a moment. Look at that income goal, and I want you to ask yourself, what does life look like when you hit it? Let's say it's a year from now. What does it look like when you hit that? And here's what I'm going to ask you to do. We're going to time travel, okay? You guys are going to beat Elon to the goal of time travel this morning. If it's comfortable, pen and paper down. Feel free to close your eyes, deep breath. And I want you to think about what happens when you hit that goal. And I want you to kind of let yourself right now in your mind wake up to 12 months from now. Let's call it Valentine's Day, 2026. In your mind, you're waking up to that date. And you just hit your goal. So in your mind, I want you to literally feel like you're waking up going, it's Valentine's Day. I hit my goal. And what does my life look like right now? Notice how you feel. And because it's Valentine's Day, you have a great day planned. And as you're getting up and doing your routine, whatever that is, you decide to open up your bank account because you're so giddy that you did it. And I want you to, in your mind, see what is there. Whew. And again, you're all excited because you did it. How are you feeling in that moment? Let yourself feel it. And because you hit your goal, it's a special day. What are you doing for the rest of the day? What are your big business plans that you still have or meetings for this day? And then what is a special thing you might be doing later on, the evening or weekend to celebrate? And while you're in that moment thinking of this, I want you to reflect back and go, how did I get here? What did I do to hit this goal? Think about the work that you put in. Think about the chances that you took, even when it was scary. Think about the strategic partnerships. Was Aria the conduit to a lot of the goodness that happened? And then I want you to realize, who have you become? It's only a year later, but you hit that goal. Who have you become? Just let yourself see it. How are you feeling? Who have you become? I'm going to give you guys a moment to just be there. Take it in. And before you end this exercise, I want to, in your mind, go to a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, and say, future you, I'm going to see you in 12 months. How did that feel?
Nice.
Awesome. Anyone want to share anything that they experienced about how they were feeling, who they've become? Popcorn style.
Like my optimum self.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess the best version, the highest performing.
Are there any key characteristics that kind of associate with the highest version of you?
Yeah, more balanced.
Balanced?
Like in life, personal life, work. Sometimes I just overwork.
Okay.
So I get away, but I do also have to prioritize myself.
I love it. Balance is a key word. Anything else for anyone? Healthy. Okay. What else?
Be able to spread the joy and be a blessing.
Be a blessing to others. Love it. Anything else? Purposeful. Tell me more about that.
Just like you said, when you look back at that financial goal, it kind of
what am I even doing? What do I even want that for, you know? And
Okay.
so it's like, the reason for it is just to like live your life and do what you want to do and have that gives you the financial freedom to do that. And at the end of the day, we just want to like have a good time, hang out with our family, make memories, and that's kind of what everyone wants to do. So if you can connect with people in that way, then it kind of helps bring everyone's purpose.
It's almost like alignment. Like you can see like what you're doing on a consistent basis aligned with that goal or intention in mind. I love it. Awesome. Now, here's why I think this is really key, okay? I think before you wrap up your day today, I want you guys to, we don't have time to do it here today, and that's all right, okay? But I want you guys to get really clear about what you experienced. I want you to write it down, okay? So before you're done with your day today, come back to our time together and write down, like, what did I experience? What did it feel like to hit my goal? When I was digging deeper, like, what are some characteristics, some things that were surprising to me? What were some things that were concerning? And just get it all on paper. Because again, I think so many of us are so used to looking for answers outside of ourselves, and that's a good thing, but I think we should start with ourselves first. I think a lot of the answers that we are looking for out there in the world are hard to find because they're in here. And so the more that we can, with the right questions, dig deeper, then we have that self-accounting. Now we know what to go look for from others and from our other resources, okay? I think it's really important that you figure out and write down how you felt or what it feels like when you're being successful and who you've become. Some of the changes that were made in who you are, and of course, some of the things that don't change at all about who you are, okay? So the reason is because now you're really setting up like your subconscious mind to focus on the right things that help push you towards your goals. And why the who you're being part, I think it's really important to know this. I think our society has things wrong. The idea of have plus do equals be in my experience is crap. It's a lie. Now let's think about this real quick, okay? Well, if I had 8 REO properties to list that were handed to me, well, then I would do all the right marketing, all the work. I'd spend the money to invest in myself, and then I would finally be successful. Right? That's just how we've been taught in our society. If I had a bunch of people in my database with 11% interest rate mortgages right now, well, then I'd call them all. And I would engage with them and educate them on how much better the rates can be versus what they're paying now. And then I'd finally have the income that I'm looking for. All that crap is a lie. The truth is, at least for me, okay, so the truth is this. When you see your highest self that's balanced, be that now. Do the activities that you know are part of your blueprint for success. And that's how you're going to have the result that you're looking for. And how do I recognize that that's true about me now? So let's be that literally today. Let's do the activities that we know are a part of our step-by-step process to hitting the results that we want. That's how we're going to get there. Is that fair? Real quick, I'm going to give you guys a couple other things that you can work on later on today. First one are commitments. What needs to happen? When you sit with your goal and you look at like, here's where I'm at, here's where I want to be, there's often times that we're going to look at, there's a bunch of things that we need to do to get there. Great. What are they? Okay. Next thing is this. What are the resources? Who are the people, the training, the associations and affiliations that we should be a part of to help fast track us to get there? So write down the question so you can sit with the answers later. And then finally, when are we going to ask for help? Because we could know our resources. We can understand exactly what we need to do. But if we don't take action, then nothing happens. And that is not the intention of today. Okay? And then the last thing, because this has been really big for me, is what is your not to do list? I'll give you a great one, okay? Like, I was super intentional about my health and trying to like get bigger and stronger. I wanted to look good for my wife. And then I was finding that a lot of times I would do this around 8 to maybe a 9:30 in that range of time in the morning, or about a 4 o'clock, like right before or right after we got the kids from school. And then I got really clear, like, why do I feel like I'm wasting time in my focuses of work? Well, because I was working out in the right hours that I should be working on other things. So now I've got to get up earlier. That's why I'm not crushing it right now, okay? I'm working on that, but it's an important not to-do list. It's an important thing for me. It's a not to-do list. Does that make sense? Not an excuse, by the way. It's just that's what I'm working on, okay? Full transparency. So know what your not to-do list is as well. For some of us, we're like really going to talk about leveraging AI and video to enhance our social media. But if we get stuck on social media and start scrolling for 30 minutes every time, we just got to be cognizant. Does that mean you don't do social media anymore? Of course not. It just means that you're really clear on what your not to-do list is. Is that fair? Yes.
I have a big not to do that I use,
Sure.
which I was always one person that never wanted to give up and kept at it and kept at it. But as a business owner, I've realized that the best thing I could do sometimes is walk away.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just using up that energy where I could be in production even 3 times more.
I love it.
So that's the one thing I would say that I'd like to share.
Yep, and I think for all of us, if we just sit with that question for a minute, the answers will come to us, and then we have a clear idea of what's on our not to-do list, okay? All right, so I wanna make sure that we're clear about this. When it comes to all the things that we're talking about, this feels good, right? It's great to close our eyes and get intentional and feel connected to our purpose, but at the end of the day, when it comes to focusing on building our business, we still have to have 9 parts of execution for every 1-part strategy, all right? So we came into this with the idea of we know what the activities are that we need to do, right? Because if we don't do those activities, the rest of it's not going to happen. So now that you're clear, you know who you need to be now, and even what can make you great in your business, that's what we need to do to make sure that we're always focused on these top line activities here, okay? So that's how we're gonna change things. As I mentioned before, I do a complete business planning masterclass, but what I brought to you today for me is the hardest part. Because even sitting where you are, like it's so much easier to just let someone facilitate what we did instead of me knowing how to do it and having to force it on myself. So I wanted to give you guys what I find for most professionals the hardest part of getting really clear about what they do, okay? So really quick, I'll share with you guys. For me, the essential parts of a business plan, you can jot this down or take a picture. If you wanna have a great business plan that is a true blueprint, you need to start with your numbers. So that income goal, we need to reverse engineer it. We need to know literally on a weekly or monthly basis, what are the metrics that we need to hit so that we're not just throwing mud against the wall and hoping something would work, okay? So what are the number of contacts or appointments or listings taken or open escrows, whatever it is that you reverse engineer to, you need to know your numbers. Next, we need to know our client acquisition strategies. Now, a lot of us will say like open houses, cold calling FSBOs, and door knocking. Awesome, but there's 3 components that most people miss. You ready? What's your source? Meaning if you're gonna call a bunch of FSBOs and your time block starts in 10 minutes, who are you calling and where are you gonna get those numbers from? You need to know your source. If you wanna do a bunch of open houses and you don't have a listing, where are you gonna get that open house from, okay? We need to plan so that when we show up for our time block, we're not sitting around going, okay, it's time to cold call, who should I call? Okay, so what's the source? Number 2, what's the message? Because even if I gave you Red X or whatever, data for you to start calling, then the next thing that we tend to do is like, all right, here are the people to call. What do I say? Let's know our message. And then finally, what's the frequency? Are our activities supporting the numbers so that we know our goal is going to get hit? Does that make sense? Then we need to make sure that our business plan shows up where? Not in our desk drawer, in our calendar. You should be able to open up your calendar, the time blocks that you've set and how you go about your business every single week and month, and that literally is your business plan come to life. Then all you have to do is honor what you said you were going to do, okay? And then finally, we talked about this before. You need a plan to get back on track. Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Plan on getting punched in the face. Fair enough? Here's what my business planning masterclass looks like. I break down all of those in specific videos. I definitely dive into making sure that people have all the necessary downloads, including like worksheets and workbooks, the whole 9 yards. This helps to break down the numbers for people because it's like, what's your income goal? And then we reverse engineer all the way down to what do you have to do on a weekly basis to make sure you hit that goal, and an entire workbook, as I mentioned. So, real quick, I want to share this with you guys because I go through business planning a ton, as you can see. But what I want you to know is for any agent that I personally work with, there are 2 non-negotiables in their business plan, at least for residential real estate, to be fair. Number 1, when it comes to their proactive lead generation, which is different than reactive, right? Proactive is what you go out into the world and do every day. Reactive is marketing, okay? You need both. But for proactive, a non-negotiable is your sphere of influence. If you're not engaging with them on a high level, you're missing out. Reactive is social media and really integrating video in all of those things. Those are the 2 non-negotiables. Why? Because I know that for the history of real estate and a lot of sales, who you already know is a major driver of your business. And for the future, if you don't have that digital resume extremely robust, you're gonna lose even people that you know to someone who does. Is that fair? Are you guys ready to dig deep now into the video and AI part of this? Yes. Awesome. With that, I'm gonna stop talking and introduce Mr. John Reyes back up.
All right,
Thank
Joe.
you.
Nice job. Nice job as always, Joe. Wonderful. Wunderbar. All right, so here's what we're going to get into. I'll tell you, my background is that I'm a sales professional that just happens to sell real estate. And so I focus on that heavily because I do feel that sales skills is a bit of a lost art in our business. And one of the things Joe talks about is that if you're going to go on out and lead gen, you're going to have Red X, you're going to have your dialer. I'm not a big believer that the more calls you make, the better you're going to get. I believe that if you don't sharpen your skills, you're going to make 100 calls, you're going to get punched in the teeth 10 times, 100 times, and then you're going to hate the phones. You're not going to embrace it. There's a big difference with you being able to have a sense of confidence for you to be able to speak to your client and to be able to convert at a very high level, and then all of a sudden it becomes fun. Because then if you want to do something, whatever that is, put money into an investment, or you want to work, sir, your name again? Matt. You want to work with Matt in order to build, which is awesome, right? I always say, like, if I had to do life all over again, I'd become a GC, or at least learn a lot more about that. I don't know if you'd agree, but a good friend of mine is a GC and an architect, and I'm like, I would work for nobody except myself. That's it. Some people say conflict of interest. I don't know, but that's what he does. But I just want you guys to see, this is what we have. Like, this is the group of people that will show up to the various events that we do. The group on top, I really like that photo because that's a 2.5-hour training session in Las Vegas at the MGM. Real estate agents are standing up against the wall, and they're also sitting on the floor, and then this is a line to get into that very next session, which unfortunately many people were not able to do so because a fire marshal got called at that session. There's just, again, so many people. But the main reason is because what we talk about, it converts, it happens to work. So here's the main thing. Joe talked to you about the importance of getting the right mindset, and I love his opening because so many real estate agents, and I won't even ask who's guilty of this, because most of you would say yes, a lot of real estate agents will show up at events like this. They'll learn things, and then they'll say in their mind, I'm going to do this, and then they walk out and they never apply it, okay? And so I've been guilty of that as well, but we're gonna take action today. You don't want to be like Blockbuster. I got to start off with this because I love this story. Blockbuster at one time dominated the market. They had over 6,000 stores, generated over $6 billion a year in annual revenue, and they were not one of the top, they were the top company that if you wanted to rent a video, you went to a Blockbuster. A small company came to them and said, hey, buy us, you run the stores, we'll run the online, and Blockbuster will be the biggest and the best ever. There's an article in the Inc. magazine that talks about the CEO of Blockbuster pretty much laughed in the face of the CEO of Netflix, and he didn't even make him a counteroffer. All Netflix wanted at the time was $50 million, which sounds like a lot, but they were the ones who developed the technology to be able to stream videos online, right? Not like YouTube. I'm talking about like movies and all that. And fast forward, Blockbuster filed bankruptcy. Next, Netflix, when I created this slide, I don't even want to change it because it's valued at just under $300 billion. This slide is not that old. I made it in October. If you guys look at the value of Netflix now, it's over $350 billion. So they added $50 billion more to their net worth. And so that's why I say, as real estate professionals, we need to evolve or die. So here's the first exercise. I'm going to give you guys 90 seconds. Let's just say that somebody in your market is going to be selling their home. There's no question that the home's going to be listed. The only question is, why should somebody want to work with you? Now, if you're an affiliate, same thing. The escrow is going to be given to somebody. Why should it be you? Lenders, same thing, right? You throw a rock in the city of Rancho Cucamonga, you're going to hit a lender. I mean, if you guys stretch out your arms, you're probably going to touch a lender. I know this because my office has been in Rancho, like I said, for 20 plus years. And I remember when we opened up our office, I was like, what do you mean the guy upstairs is a lender? What do you mean the guy over here is a lender? What do you mean that this, like, are you, like, we have so many freaking real estate agents and lenders in Rancho Cucamonga. That's why I tell people when I travel out, I say, if you get into a fender bender in Southern California, you don't exchange insurance information. Just pull out your realtor card or your lender card because chances are you hit a realtor. But here's my point. There's a lot of us, but who stands out? Number one, you have to be able to identify your value. So what is it? Write that down. 90 seconds or less, that's all it is. What is your value? What are you bringing to the market? So that I'll throw out some ideas just to make it simple and easy. That could be strong communication skills. That could be the fact that you have really great marketing. Maybe you're somebody who's extremely detailed. Maybe you're somebody like Joe and I, we have a really firm understanding of the contracts for real estate. In fact, Joe, as I mentioned, teaches this at Mount SAC. We're both certified forms trainers for CAR education, and I got my designation because iron sharpens iron. I look at my friend Joe, and I'm like, you know the contract so dang well, I want to know it as well as you. What do I do? And then he said, get your CAR designation. That's the first thing. And the next thing we know, we started doing classes because if you want to learn something, teach it. Just make sure you're teaching the right thing because it's easy to fool people if they don't know, right? Okay, so we said, understanding your value. Second point is this. What is the point of you being able to understand your value if you can't articulate it? Well, then that becomes virtually worthless. You guys have all heard of the elevator pitch, right? Short, concise, 30, 45 seconds. Why should somebody hire you? So then that's what you're going to want to write down. You're going to want to develop your elevator pitch. I'm going to show you how to be able to leverage AI in order to do that, and we're going to do it pretty easily. So here's what I have on the screen here. I'm going to do a live demonstration with ChatGPT. Who in this room right now is already using ChatGPT? And here's the thing. What I'm noticing is as I'm traveling out more, way more people are using it in their business. What I've realized is that some agents are using it, but they're just maybe not using it to the full degree because ChatGPT keeps evolving. There's always new things that can be done. So I'll show you guys something today that I've been doing myself, but I haven't done it in a group setting like this. And so I was just showing my family last night and they were blown away by it. And I said, this is what I'm going to show tomorrow. So Paul, this was special just for you. I wanted to make sure Aria could say, hey, some of the latest and the greatest training. But here's the first thing we're going to do. You have to know your clients, okay? You have to know your clients. So I have a prompt here. The prompt is the part that's highlighted, and I'm going to take it over here to ChatGPT, and I'm going to deliver the prompt, and here's what it is. I want you to do customer research for me. Tell me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, 10 fears that my audience experiences related to homeowners who want to sell their home. Format the output of the 10 frustrations, 10 desires, 10 dreams, and 10 fears in a table. The x-axis should be numbered 1 through 10. The y-axis should include frustrations, desires, dreams, and fears. And I know that sounds a little techie. The good news is it doesn't matter. You don't need to know how to create the prompt as much as you just need to know how to copy. There's an old saying, good artists copy, great artists steal. If you find something that works, steal it and just incorporate it, adjust it for yourself. So you guys tell me, you know clients, is this a frustration for home sellers? The home sitting on the market too long and lowball offers. Dealing with unqualified buyers, hidden fees cutting into profits. What's a desire? A fast and smooth sale, getting top dollar, a stress-free transaction, avoiding high commissions and fees. What's a dream? Selling above the asking price, getting multiple offers, and establishing a bidding war for the property in which you're selling. Selling to the perfect buyer. Some people want to find the buyer that's going to appreciate the home just as much as they did. I did have a seller that chose to take $20,000 less from an all-cash buyer because she knew it was an investor. And she said, the money does not matter. I want to sell this to somebody who's going to enjoy it the way that we enjoyed it. I don't want to sell it to an investor. Crazy, right? I called CAR and I was like, what are your thoughts on this? They said, investors is not a protected class, so it did not matter. Okay, quick closings with minimal hassle. And what is a fear? Not finding the right buyer, market downturn, reducing home value. That's an issue right now, guys, with more inventory hitting the market and the interest rates being a bit elevated. It's going to be a constant conversation. I know in the city of, in the unincorporated part of Rancho, Alta Loma, $1 million and plus, you have homes that are sitting on the market, average days, 84. Right? Almost 90 days to sell a house. Kind of crazy because a lot of these sellers who haven't sold properties in a while, they're thinking you put your home on the market and it's going to sell tomorrow, fly off the shelves. Buyers backing out at the last minute. I just closed a home. My client lost $60,000 from what they should have sold at because they were working with another real estate agent previous to me. They should have sold with me, but somebody said pretty much, I will sell your home for free. Family member, free is not always best. I mean, if somebody offered you a free room at Circus Circus, I don't know if you would take it. If you watch some of the videos that are available on TikTok, you might not want to take it, right? You're like, nah, I'm cool. I will pay for my room. Losing money on the sale, so they lost the perfect timing in order to sell their property. So you would all agree with me, and on my time, I'm going to consolidate this. You would agree with me that ChatGPT, just off of one prompt, knows more about our clients. Not that they know more about us, but they can articulate it in a much more clear and concise way. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, I'm going to say, great, this is good stuff. Now, do you need to complement ChatGPT, AI? This is up to you, but here's the thing. AI is taking over the world, and if they ever take it over really one day, I want them to look back at me and say, hey, that guy John, he was good to us. I'm going to be good to him as well. So this is good stuff. Give me a total of 10 hooks that I can use for my video marketing. I am a real estate agent. Okay, so here's what I'm saying. I said I want video hooks. Now I brought my tripod, and as this produces, I'm going to show you. Great, this is good stuff. Give me a total of 10 hooks that I could use for my video marketing. I am a real estate agent. I want to attract the attention of home sellers. Now, what is a hook? A hook is something that you're going to start off your video with. It's going to be the first 3 to 5 seconds. So based off of what I just showed you research-wise, this is what ChatGPT is going to give me. Thinking about selling your home? Here's the number one mistake most sellers make and how you could avoid it. What is one mistake that sellers make? Perfect. That's a great one. So now all I need to do is this. I'm showing you this because this is a tripod, so I could open this up, right? I love this tripod. It's one of the best ones. I have a few of them because sometimes I lose them, and it depends where I take them. So I took one to Switzerland, and we had a great time in Lucerne, and then we went to a bar right afterwards, and then it's a true story. And the next thing I know, we're on the train, and I was like, where's my... So my wife was so mad because I left it, and there went all of our great photos. But this is a tripod, so I could take my phone, I could put it right here and then hit the record, and all I need to do is look at the hook. Thinking about selling your home, here's the number one mistake sellers make and how you could avoid it. And that would be not pricing your home appropriately. If you price your home too high, you can scare off would-be qualified buyers. If you're thinking about selling your home, I'd love the opportunity to talk to you. Give me a call. How short is that video? It's short, concise, straight to the point. I just posted a video, maybe 24, 30 hours now. I posted it online, and what I did is I did this. I put my camera like this. I was speaking at a broker's office. I just hit record. I took this video. It was about 38 minutes. I uploaded it to a service called Opus, O-P-U-S. Write that down, Opus. That 38-minute video, Opus created a bunch of short clip videos for me based off of the video. It did the editing for me. So I didn't even need to have an editor break it down for me. I took one video clip, posted it online, less than a minute, and I have thousands of views on that video already. The majority of the people who watch that video are all outside my network. They're not even my friends. 6% of the viewers were my friends, 94% were other people. So I was like, that's pretty dang good for me to be able to build and expand my brand within my market. So Opus Clip is both. Opus Clip, but the best way that you're going to get the service is to use it on a computer. If you try to do it up through your mobile device, it's going to give you some issues, so use it directly through the service. Now, some of you are not going to feel, thank you for asking that, some of you are not going to feel comfortable with getting a hook and just start talking because maybe you know your content, but maybe you're just a little nervous around a camera. Anybody nervous around a camera? Okay. But do we all know how to comfortably read? Yes. Okay. Almost. Yes. And some of you will freeze up the moment that you hit the record button, right? But what I'm going to tell ChatGPT is this, is I'm going to say, these are awesome. Okay, now give me a blog for each that I can read in first person. Make it 75 words or less, and remember to write on behalf of a realtor. So now what I'm telling ChatGPT is this is great, but now give me a blog that I could read in first person. So I don't ask ChatGPT for a script because they'll give you a full-blown script. Like they will say, scene 1, drone camera flies in from the right side, you standing in front of your building. It really will do that. And so I don't want that. So now let's look at the screen. You see it doing it real time. But what if I just said this? So all I'm doing is now copying this here, and then I'm opening up an app, write this down, called Captions, Captions. Captions is the app that I've been promoting for well over a year, but I'll still continue to promote it because for me, it's not about changing things if they work, but Captions keeps upgrading the value of its offering. They keep releasing more and more services for the same price that I pay. So I paid $65 for the year, or you can pay $9.99 a month. It's up to you. But I can copy this here, and then from there, all I need to do is put it right into the teleprompter, and then all I have to do is read. And then here's the thing, Captions will do a couple things. Number one, it will use AI technology to enhance your audio to make it sound as if you're recording with a microphone. That's pretty freaking amazing. Second, it will add captions to your video. Third, it will correct your eyes to make it look as if you are not reading.
Can you use this on your phone, or does it have to be on your computer?
I use it all on my phone. Let me give you an example. So here's the app Captions. This is all directly on our mobile device. Captions used to be a teleprompter app, and then they just keep enhancing its offering. You as real estate agents, you need to keep enhancing your offering. You cannot be a realtor that says, I don't know how to learn online. No, it's not that you don't know how to learn. It's that you're not disciplined enough to take the time to just look at the screen and then focus on learning. That's what it is. I saw this video. Some of you don't get mad. I didn't make this video, but it's I think it's like a South Park cartoon. And it's like, oh, here's the solution for ADHD. So they have these kids, and these kids are like jumping out of their chairs. And he's like, here's what you do. And then he just smacks the kid. And he's like, read your damn book. And then the kid starts reading, right? Then he goes to the next kid, does it again, does it again. So sometimes we just need to hold ourselves accountable, self-discipline, to say, pay attention. Okay, so AI-powered captions. I'm going to show you this video. I love this video. She loves it when I show it too. This woman is amazing. She's a VP for the largest Century 21 office in the entire state of New Jersey, the largest company. And she has so much energy. And I told her, people will come to work for the company because of you. That's why management wants to associate themselves with you. But as I look through your social media, all you have are these boring photo posts that nobody's engaging with. Like, you are the brand. You as realtors are the brand. If you think posting, copying and posting and sharing something is going to help build your engagement, most likely it's not. You are the product at the end of the day. You are the service that's being sold. You guys agree with that? People don't want to necessarily just work for your company as much as it is they want to work with you. That's why you have producers in the company, and then you have people that are just there, just to be there, and they hang their license. So I told her, hold yourself accountable, create content, share who you are. So then I told her about Captions. She uploaded the video and she didn't use Captions because she's like an average real estate agent. She didn't follow the steps, right? So I downloaded her video, I uploaded it to Captions, and in 3 minutes I enhanced her video. Now she's sold. So you're gonna see this. It's one video, but it's 3 parts. First is what she uploaded. Second is now the part where Captions enhanced her audio with AI and added captions. Third, Captions allowed you to add background music. They'll even say, what type of music do you want? Inspirational, funny, happy, whatever. And then it will create an AI track specifically for your video. And then all you gotta do is minimize the sound because you don't wanna compete with your voice. So here's the example.
What is up, everybody? It's Laura Adams, Vice President over here at Century 21 Action Plus Realty. I'm stoked to connect with you guys again. So I can promise you, moving forward, you're going to hear a lot more from me here on this Live with Laura page, and I'm super excited. We're going to talk all things real estate, all the good things going on here at Century 21. I might add some health and fitness things in there.
Okay, so you get the point, right? How we enhanced her audio.
Good things that are happening here.
So we enhanced her audio. So now imagine, you use ChatGPT to get a really good script, copy, paste on Captions, again, $9.99 a month. You know how much it costs for you to go on out and hire an editor? It's gonna be a lot more than that. Pay 10 bucks a month or pay 65 bucks for the year. And then when you do this, check this out. Look at, this is the real one. This is the AI corrected one. Which one looks better? I mean, I know they both look good, they're me, but left one, this is the real one. And then look at this one. Like, I feel like it makes me look younger too, which is, and that's not an exaggeration. I mean, like, ladies, I've seen a lot of your filters, so. And the crazy part about it too is that with Captions, AI technology, some of you will say, I don't know how, and I don't have the time. So we just solved the how because I just gave you hooks, video hooks. I just solved the how because I gave you the scripts, right, with AI technology. And then now it's also the time because some of you will say, I don't have time. Last night, I was able to join my good friend, Saeed Al-Basha. I haven't seen him in years. If any of you guys know him from Farmers Insurance, I have not seen Saeed, or is it Farmers, right? Farmers, right? I haven't seen him in years. And he said, you know, I had kids and I haven't been around for 5 years. We were able to pick right up where we left off. But I remember one time Saeed came to an event that I had at Rowdy's, the brewery over here in Rancho. It was for my birthday. And then when he showed up, I started talking to him and he asked me something about working out, like if I was working out. And obviously he could look at me and know I wasn't. So I said, oh yeah, man, I don't have the time. And Saeed looked at me right in the eyes and he said, John, here's what I'd like for you to do. Don't say that you don't have the time. Rather, replace that with, I choose to not make it a priority. And I said, oh, damn, like, that hit me right here because it's 100% correct. So now when it comes down to you as real estate professionals, set 2 days out of the month. I would say the 2nd and the 4th Wednesday. You're getting my drift. It could be whatever days you want. Make it the 2nd and the 4th Friday, whatever. And then all you got to do is consolidate and set aside time, 2 hours from 8 in the morning till 10 o'clock. Here's what I'm going to do, and use that as your marketing time. But the last thing I want to show you with Captions, is that they'll allow you to record what they call your AI twin. So now I can say to Captions, make an AI twin. So it will say, okay, put your face in the center of the screen. And then it gives you a green check mark. And then it has me do a combination of face movement. So first, you got to do the AH. What does that look like? AH. Ah, great. Now do OH. Oh. Now do the P. It's just P, the letter P. P. Now you read a script for 1 minute. And then what the AI technology will do is it will mimic your voice and it will capture your facial features. So here's a video that I made without ever actually making it.
Hello, my name is John Reyes. With more than 20 years experience as a broker, realtor, and mortgage loan originator, I bring a wealth of knowledge to both buyers and sellers. I hold a degree in business administration, and over the years, I've honed my ability to leverage the latest in digital technology to enhance the real estate experience for my clients. My commitment to clear communication and client education ensures that every step of the buying or selling process is fully understood, helping you make informed decisions with confidence. If you're thinking of buying or selling real estate, call.
So here's the cool thing. I never actually recorded that video. That's what made with my AI twin. And some real estate agents will say, oh, John, it doesn't sound exactly like you. It doesn't need to. Look at where it's at right now. Yeah. Where do you think it's going to be 6 months or a year from now? So here's what I did. I was speaking at an event because I mentioned to you guys I do events all across the country. I was in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, speaking for the state of North and South Carolina for one big real estate firm. And I was told that I was to go on later in the afternoon. So if you guys know anything about Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, there's some amazing golf courses there. Well, I was invited to stay at this amazing golf course. Well, obviously I'm going to play, right? So I took my clubs and everything. And then I get a call at 10:38 p.m. And then the host says, John, is there any way you can join us? Because we're going to be having, in the morning, we're going to have just the broker owners. Now, in my line of business, that's exactly what you want. Those are the key decision makers, and those are the people that I could do business with. And I thought about it for a second, and I was like, okay, what would my wife say if she ever found out that I chose to play golf instead of going to this event? I'd be in trouble. So I was like, I got to figure out both. So I did. I played 9 holes, but on the 7th hole, this is when the Federal Reserve had announced that they were doing a 50 basis points drop. So I took the article from Barry Habib, my lenders, I'm sure you guys all know Barry Habib, maybe some of you realtors, very insightful. I just copied the text from Barry Habib, I threw it into the Captions app, and then what Captions did is that it wrote a captions-friendly script for me. I pressed to create my video, and that was all done on the 7th tee. So we drove up to the tee, there's 3 golfers. Before I hit, I copied, I uploaded, I sent it to be created. By the time that we were done picking up our ball from the hole, my video was set ready to roll. And that's a video demonstration that I played for the audience. And so these tools and technology, they really make a big difference. I got a few more minutes with you guys, but let me ask you, what are some of the drawbacks? What are some of the hiccups that we are, as real estate professionals, hitting right now? What's keeping us from closing more deals? Anybody? Lauren?
No, yeah. I think a big part of it, John, with social media is a lot of people are afraid, including myself, because it took me about a year to start shooting videos and really getting comfortable with it. But they're afraid to put their face out there and to show their knowledge and their expertise. And we cannot be afraid, especially in the economy we're in right now. There's so many tools. I was not familiar with Captions, but I have an AI twin clone, and I used it through HeyGen to build a whole course and everything, and it's great. It's me. It looks like me. It talks like me, but it ain't me.
Sweet. And I think that's cool, Lauren, is that when we show something, and if you find something comparable or something that you like, embrace it, right? Because it's not, there's multiple paths to success, but do know that if you aren't, even if you're a brand new realtor, ChatGPT will give you scripts and make you sound like you actually know what you're doing. That's a beautiful thing about it, right? Okay, so thank you for sharing that. And then Yesenia, you were talking about consistency. So this is why, and this was not a direct lead on my book, but when I put this together, there's a couple of key takeaways that I have for you guys that I want to share with you. And one of them is routine. Christian Fuentes talks about the importance of establishing a morning routine that's going to get you started for success. Christian Fuentes, super high level producer, produces millions of dollars a year in commissions, does a tremendous amount of flips, and he runs 2 offices for RE/MAX top producers. And he has a lot of really big name realtors or brokers that worked with him that now have created their own companies and still great relationships. But I think that that's very important. So if you guys are taking notes on this, or write down, establish a morning routine. You have to establish a morning routine that's going to give you the start that you want and need for your business. I've been doing that for years, luckily, without even realizing what I was doing. Every morning I would get up, and religiously, I used to be at the Starbucks by the Victoria Gardens at 4:30 in the morning every day. The only other person that would be there with me is Ryan Orr. You guys all know Ryan Orr, I'm sure. But Ryan Orr and I would be there. We'd share the same table, and we would both just work. And it would be right when they opened up. We were the first persons that walked in. We were the first coffee that they served for the day. And it was more so just to get the right structured frame of mind, and I would create a list of the things that I needed to do. So that's so important. The other thing is too that Christian talks about is the importance of making sure that you're taking the time to acknowledge what are you grateful for. And don't think that this is something that is just some cheesy tactic that people teach you. Mindset is everything, and it's very simple and easy for us to get off course and for us to start focusing on the things that are not going to do well for us. We're looking at the darkness rather than looking at the light, right? I was mentioning to my father, I was just reading the Bible today, and it was Matthew, I think it was chapter 5, and it was talking about like our eyes are like a lamp, right? Our eyes are like a lamp, and it's either going to be bright, like the light, Or we can shut it off and then it's going to be darkness, and all that does is breed negativity for us. Like, we don't want that as well. So morning routine is one of the most important things you guys have to do. My wife typically wakes up a lot later than me. And so it's our thing where I am an early riser and I do my thing in the morning every day. I feel very fancy because my coffee is already made by the time I wake up, because I have that machine that makes it for me. Something so simple, but it still puts a smile on my face. But the other day, she said, I want to wake up early with you. And I said, here's the thing. I have my routine, so you can wake up early with me, but I still need to stay focused on just making sure I get my morning done, right? Like, I have to get this process rolling because I know it's a strategic part of my success for the day. Then I can scale back and breathe a little bit, but the morning routine is so important. Second thing is this. This right here, if you did not close 12 deals last year, and I won't even ask you who didn't close 12 deals, but if you did not close 12 deals last year, then this is something that you can take to the bank. And you can write this down, talk to me in a year from now, and try to hold me accountable that this did not work. But if you did not close 12 deals, I'm going to give you something that you can do. This is also mentioned in my book by Daniel Boyer, who is a broker in Glendora. And I learned this from Daniel because I'm like, I don't even do this. As strategic as I am with my business, this is called your top 12. Write that down, top 12. The question to you is, as a professional, do you have 12 people that will refer you one deal in 12 calendar months? One deal is all they need to refer you. Do you have these 12 people? And if you have to think about it, if you say, I kind of have it, I think I have it, you don't have it. You either have it or you don't. And that's better for you, because then if you do have it, life is a little bit easier. Now, what you do is this. You pick up the phone, you write your list down, and you reach out to 12 people who know you, who like you, who trust you, people that you know are in a strategic space in order to refer you. And then, sir, what's your name?
Rex.
Max?
Rex.
Rex. So Rex, I call you and you're a past client of mine, but I know that you're a foreman that works with some big company. You're connected to a lot of people. Hey Rex, I really appreciate our relationship and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to service you and your family. Rex, here's one thing that I want you to know. I need to let Rex know that I'm worthy of this. I am doing everything that I can in order to bring as much value to my buyers and sellers as possible. And I have certain targets and goals that I would like to achieve in 2025. So Rex, here's what I would like to ask you. I'm throwing the responsibility element on Rex. Can I count on you, Rex, to be one of my top 12? Now, what this means is that you will do everything that you possibly can in order to refer me just one deal in 2012. Refer me one person who's looking to buy or sell. So I'm talking about any of your family members, any of your friends. I'm being specific because I want to plant this seed in his brain that any of his friends, any of his family members, any of your coworkers, if they even say real estate, they want to buy, they want to sell, that you would refer them on over to me. Rex, can I count on you for that?
Yes.
Sometimes it's as simple as asking, because how many professionals do you think are asking? So I did this training in Victorville, and this is a question that I ask real estate agents when I'm doing a group setting. As I say, what is the average commission in your office? And in that market, they were saying 8 to 10 grand. I said, let's go with the lower of the two. Let's say 8. Okay, you have 12 referrals. If you were given 12 referrals, how much money is that? We're talking $96,000. And one real estate agent said, no, that's not enough. That's not a problem. Turn the 12 to 15, turn it to 18. The beautiful thing about it is that you guys know dang well, high producers, they have a really good referral source of business. So I took this upon myself. I have a great referrer of business. In fact, I just posted today. I just closed and I put sold. And it's a home that I sold for a client that was referred to me by an attorney. I'm doing business with the attorney, but I reached out to him and I specifically said, I want to connect with even more attorneys. Are there any attorneys that you might know? And he said, yeah, actually there is. We're looking to share office space with a divorce attorney. There's 3 divorce attorneys that I've been talking to. In addition to that, bankruptcies are on the rise. I have 2 properties that I'm going to be checking out. And if they don't have a realtor, I'll definitely refer you. And I said, even if they have a real estate agent, refer me anyways. And then I had to remind him of the value that I bring. And that's something that if I did not get out of my way and ask for, he wouldn't refer it to me. Because here's the problem with real estate agents. We think that people should remember us because we're great at what we do and we're cool people. It is nobody's job to remember you. It is your job to be remembered, because these people have their own lives to live. They have their kids to worry about. They have to worry about going to Stater Brothers and buying 18 eggs for $17, right? They have to worry about $5 a gallon gas prices. Like, this is what people need to worry about. So you're not on top of mind, as like we shouldn't expect that. But if we get out of our way, it's different. Daniel Boyer talks about top 12. These are the people that I will take out. So Rex, I would learn and know Rex, because it's my job to know my client, right? So Rex, let's just say I knew you were an avid cigar smoker. I might invite you to go on out for a cigar. I might just deliver you a nice cigar, maybe a box of cigars, something. That's what Daniel says, right? For me, I'm thinking, if you have kids, even though I don't like kids' birthday parties, okay, if you invite me, maybe I would actually go to Chuck E. Cheese, just because you're one of my top 12. I'm gonna get out of my way more for you because it's strategic, right? Top 12, so incredibly important. I'll share this with you guys today. As soon as I'm done here, I have a listing appointment. And I will tell you, my father's here. I invited my dad. My dad doesn't come to too many of our events, but I told him, it's in Rancho, come on out. So if you guys like my training, and if you feel that you've learned anything from me over the years, then you can thank him, because my dad was the Southern California prison gang expert and used to give a ton of trainings. And so when I was young, I would see him prep for his events. And see, I have a slide deck here, and I could see what slide is next, and my phone tells me what slide is next, but he was using the old school. You guys remember those old school carousel where it's just the image that's shown up on the screen? And my dad would do it, and I was like, how do you remember the sequence of those photos? Like, that's just mind-blowing to me. So that's my background in just being able to witness it firsthand. But my dad was, Dad, how did you see that guy that had the estate sale? Were you driving or were you walking? The one by our home?
Yeah, I was walking.
Okay, so my dad he does walks, right? It's healthy to walk, and it's profitable for me. So I like it when he walks. So my dad was walking, and there was a makeshift estate sale, just like drawn out with a marker, and it was like taped to a car. And I was like, oh, this guy's probably gonna get in trouble by the city because it doesn't look very nice. And my dad started talking to him, and he learned he had to sell the home. So now I went over there to introduce myself. And when I went to go introduce myself, I had a beautiful handout. It's my marketing package of what I'm gonna do. There was all these people in the house. And so when I walked over, I found the key decision maker guy. I introduced myself, and I said, my father had come by and he had talked to you, and he was so all over the place, he wasn't even remembering the conversation that he had had with my father, but that was fine. People were coming up, how much is this? And he's given the price. So I had a little bit of information, a little bit of time to share with him. I had my elevator pitch. So I was able to tell him who I am, what my background is, and then he kind of like pats me on the back, because he's a bit of an older gentleman, older than me, and he pats me on the back and he's like, thank you, but I have 2 family members that are in the real estate business. And so pretty much what he's telling me is thank you, but no thanks, right? So then I asked the question, I said, well, let me ask you. Dramatic pause. I did do that. I said, let me ask you. How important is the amount of money that you make on this sale? And he said, I need to squeeze every dollar out of this home that I can. And then that's where I went right into the fact that if you're looking to sell quickly and if you're looking to get the greatest return, you should definitely give me a call. Here's what I'll do. I see that you're busy. I'd like to shoot you over a text. In my text, I'm going to include a video. The video is going to give you a breakdown on some of the key things that my team and I do to be able to help our clients sell quickly and sell for top dollar. Now, I'm talking a little quickly because he's super busy. I need to get to the point, right? I'm not trying to disrespect his time. Second, I'm going to include a video of a client who's already sold with me in the city of Ontario. Because I know it's one thing for agents to talk about how great we are, and it's another thing for you to be able to hear it directly from somebody who's already worked with us. Sound fair enough? So he says, yeah, sounds fair enough. So I got his phone number, I got his name, and then I sent him 2 videos. I sent him a message, no response. Sent him a message later that evening, no response. Sent him another message, no response. I'm walking by the house because my wife and I are walking and it's close enough to my home. I record a video. I said, hey, Sean, this is John Reyes. I hope you don't mind my persistence, but I couldn't help but think about you as I'm walking by. I want him to understand the locality. I sent him the message. Well, finally, last night I got a text message and he invited me over to the home today. So now I will be going to the house. Now, will I get the listing? Who knows? But what we need in this business is we need at-bats, right? And we never know where that's going to turn. My newest listing in the city of Alta, well, I say city, but in Alta Loma, it's a $1.1 million listing. That was another one. My dad was walking and my dad said, hey, they're gonna be selling this house. You should come by. Somebody passed away. Now that might make us feel a little bit awkward, a little bit weird, because I know we're not in the business of being vultures, but at the same time, I do believe that I'm the right solution for my clients. If you don't believe that you're bringing the value to be the right solution for your clients, you need to take a step back and then focus on your value. Because it's so much easier to sell when you really believe it. When my dad told me about it, he had said, come down and speak to him. I showed up at the house and there was a man that was sitting in this like really big, beautiful truck. And he had a big beard and he had a trucker's hat on and he spoke like this, like a real burly voice, and he was drinking a Coors Light beer at 10:30 in the morning. I introduced myself to him and I said, I'm local in the area, I'm a neighbor. I heard that you may be selling this house. He said, yes, we're gonna be selling. I said, I heard that somebody had passed away. He said it was my father. My father had passed away. I shared my condolences. The moment I said that I was a real estate agent, before I could even finish the word, he said, I have a 45-year relationship with a real estate agent and he will be listing this house. Fast forward, guys, I was able to get him to engage in conversation with me. Not only did I get the listing, but I was able to double end the transaction as well. The first person that walked into the open house did not buy, but he ended up buying in Baldwin Park and they paid 2.75 points on $800,000. The first person that walked into the open house. My referral for the Alta Loma listing, that's his cousin. Another property that I sold in Ontario down the street was the gentleman who passed away. His 80-plus-year-old brother called me and said, I love what you did with my brother's home. I have another real estate agent that's been asking me to sell my home and she said that she's gonna sell it for like this much. No promises, but I'd like to talk to you. I came on out, I met with him and we took that listing at a compensation that you would all be proud to have. And so we made that happen. My point is you gotta be prepared. You gotta be ready in this battle. Linda? Right. Yes, and then I'm going to turn it on over to Paul so that way he can come on up here. But here's what it is. What Linda's talking about is that you all need that 30 to 60 second video. I said you need to understand your value, then you need to be able to articulate it. Record that in a short video. You have a hook, something like this. If you're watching this video, chances are you're interested in either buying or selling real estate. Then you introduce yourself. Hi, my name is John Reyes, and I'm a real estate broker who services the Southern California market. Then you share your 1, 2, or 3 value propositions. Make it short and concise, and then you go in for the closing. If you're thinking about buying or selling, I'd love the opportunity to talk to you. Give me a call. That's exactly what I presented. So if any of you have any interest in buying my book, which I hope you do, if you like this class today, then there's so much more for you to learn. Then here's my offer to you. I got 2 offers, just so you guys are aware. And I'll throw up the slides with both. Number 1, you can buy the book for $21, and you can scan the QR code and you can buy the book. And if you do buy the book, and Lionel, I know you already bought one, so I'll give you one. I know you already bought it online, which is great. Yeah, so absolutely. So $21, it's called 21 Strategies, 21 bucks. I mean, that right there is gonna be totally worth it. And then the next thing is this, Agent Growth Lab. I gotta tell you guys what this is. Joe has his whole business planning training online. I have over 6 hours of content where I'm walking you through the steps of doing things like how to use captions in order to enhance your videos with the audio and all that. What types of messages you should be sending your clients. I'm walking you through how to use ChatGPT, but at a really high level. I barely scratched the surface with you. And then also, video number 4 is now walking you through the steps of creating your very own virtual video business card. These are agents from all across the United States are doing this right now, and we've had tremendous success. I have a lot more, but this right here will put you in a position where you will be able to excel far greater than most real estate agents. Now, this is content that I've sold online for $1,000, $695 at various conferences. But here's what I'm offering you guys. I'm a real big believer in the value that ARIA brings its members, and I'm hoping to be able to have an opportunity to do even more with you guys. And so when I'm out traveling and if I'm out speaking at my events, we are promoting our book and access to the program at $195. But if any of you guys want to take advantage of this, this is an ARIA special. And if any of you bought this for $200, don't get mad because you weren't at an ARIA event. If any of you want to take advantage of this, you just scan this QR code here and then you complete your sale online. You'll get a book and then you'll also get access to my content. And you'll also, as an added bonus, you'll get content, you'll get Joseph Limo's business plan at no additional cost. 95 bucks for all that. If you guys don't buy it, you're missing out on a huge opportunity.
The information is so amazing.
Thank you. And then Paul, I know I got to pass it back to you, but can I show that one thing that I wanted to show that I didn't show? Okay, so how many of you guys feel that you need to sharpen your sales skills or your cold calling skills, your interviewing skills, but you're just a little nervous to do it in front of other people? Okay, nobody. So you guys are all great. Do you mind coming on up here? Okay, because I was going to say, come on up here and let's role play together then. Yeah, we all need to be better. So if you have ChatGPT, you can talk to ChatGPT like a human being now. So I'm going to do a live role play session with ChatGPT. Hey ChatGPT, I want to do a live role-playing session. I am a real estate agent and I am cold calling you to see if you have any interest in selling your home. Now here's the thing, you do not like it when people call you, you do not like it when people bug you, and you have no interest in selling your home. So don't hesitate in being brutal with me.
Got it. I'll be a tough customer. Let's see how this goes. Give me your best pitch.
Ring ring.
Hello?
Hi there, this is John Reyes and I'm a real estate broker in your local market. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. What's this about?
Well, I'm reaching out to you to see if you've had any interest in selling your home if you were able to get the price that you're looking for.
No, I'm not interested. I don't like getting these kinds of calls.
I could totally appreciate that, and I understand, and I don't like getting these calls as well. As a local to your market, I wanted to at least reach out and share some information about the activity in your area. Are you familiar with the fact that we have more inventory on the market today than we did about 18 months ago?
I haven't really been paying attention. I'm not looking to sell.
Okay, last thing before I let you go. Can you tell me, what do you love most about your home?
I like the neighborhood, that's all.
Sounds good. Well, if it's okay with you, I'd like to shoot you over a text with my contact information, and if you ever have a chance, or if you'd ever like to discuss selling your home, then please keep me in mind.
You can send it, but I can't promise I'll use it.
Okay, ChatGPT, let's end the session. Now tell me, what could I have done in order to better engage in conversation with you, because you were really tough?
You did great. You acknowledged my concerns and kept it friendly. Maybe next time, try asking about the neighborhood or local market trends earlier to get me talking. Overall, well done.
This is a short example, but I've been there just drilling with ChatGPT, and it's absolutely amazing. And I think one of the best parts about it is that it's fast, it's quick, it's not an unrealistic conversation. So you can break this down, whether it's listing presentations, you can break this down in so many different facets to say, you're a home buyer, I'm conducting a conversation with you, what questions should I be asking to learn more about this and that? So that right there is an absolute game changer. There's so much more that we could talk to you about, but hopefully, let me ask you this. Do you guys feel that you learned at least one thing from me today that you could apply to your business in order to generate more deals?
Yes.
Okay, do you guys feel that you learned one thing from Joseph Limo?
Yes.
Okay, so what was the ask that I asked you today earlier? If you feel that you learned from both Joe and I, then make sure to connect with Hector, make sure to connect with Linda, because if you do not, she will call me and she will say, John, you told them, but like they didn't give me their time. And she will count to see how many people give her time. And that's one thing I could appreciate about you, Linda, is I like that sense of aggressiveness, because at the end of the day, we are in an eat what you kill type business. Nobody pays you for how hard you work. You get paid for the deals that you close, period, end of story. You guys agree with that? All right, so with that said, Paul, thank you very much for giving Joe and I the platform today.